Oh, buddy. Listen, from coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, it's 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Welcome to the public forum of EDC Opinion. I'm Rollshambo, and I'm excited to be here. You know, I almost feel like that intro that I almost decided not to do was kind of like how you introduce yourself at an AA meeting. Hi, I'm Rolls. I have a problem. It's true. Guys, welcome in. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that you're here. I mean, I was strolling through the EDC streets on YouTube, and what I found was there are 2 other channels that are live. I'm used to there being at least one, but right now there's 2. So I have no idea if we're going to be busy. I've never prescribed to the whole idea of, you know, don't do a live because so-and-so's doing a live. No. Listen, no one talks to me about when they do their live streams. I'm just going to follow my schedule. If I step on some toes, I'm sorry. I wear a size 12.5. It's going to happen. Okay. If people watch. If they're off, watch another one. It is what it is. They can watch the replay. For those of you who are here live, thank you for being here. And we're going to go ahead and get into some shout outs. And then, of course, you know what we're going to do. We're going to talk about pocket checks. As you stream in, let me know in the chat, what was in your pocket today? What was the carry of the day for you? I'll tell you about mine here in a minute. But first of all, big shout out to Henry G. First person in the chat, followed closely by Marco. We got Lone Star Towboy, Ground Fog, Bluetooth Blades, thanks for being a channel member. Wicked Dream Designs, he says, Chee-hoo. I don't know. I probably said that wrong. That must be an island thing. He says, aloha, everyone. Good to see you, man. You know, from coast to coast, truly, welcome in. Always good to see you. Welcome in to Charles Wooden. Thank you for being a channel member, sir. Good to see you. Mike and Ike's EDC, another channel member. Gas Station Knives says, anyone know who Victor Wooten is? I am not traveled enough to know who that is, unfortunately. Maybe we'll find out more. Thanks for being a channel member, man. Welcome in. Vivelsky says, with or without Google's... You know, we're entering an age where people are getting these virtual reality glasses or augmented reality glasses. You know, right now, you know when someone doesn't know the answer to something and they just pull up their phone like, it is... It's going to be so much harder 10 years from now. Everyone's going to be walking around. Their phones are going to be their glasses. And they're just going to, you know, dead face, just dead ass be able to tell you exactly what the answer to something is. And you won't know if they know or if they're just asking Google. I promise you it's happening. Augmented reality glasses. Right now, they're these big honking things, but just give it time. The technology will get smaller. You know, they'll have prescription lenses. We'll all be literally just zoned in. I guarantee it. Anyways, Gas Station Knife says, yeah, that we would without thought there might be some bass players out there. I'll be at his show tonight. Asked him to reschedule around Rollshambo. Oh man, you shouldn't have. Thank you. He's probably like, who the hell is this guy? No, I don't want to rock, paper, scissors you. I'm just kidding. That's cool though. I hope you have fun at the show when you go. Anyways, Jim Miller, welcome in, man. Thank you for being a channel member, channel moderator. Good to see you, Jim. What's up? What's up? He says, my Downdraft is ordered, but Casey is having major problems with his shipping. So, that's logistics are one of those things where if it breaks, you'll know because it causes major issues down the supply chain. Logistics. Well, fingers crossed he gets that figured out for you guys soon. I told him I was talking to him the other day. He reached out to me and I said, dude, the Downdraft looks like it could be potentially your biggest release yet. And so I'm very interested. I might have to try to pick one up. We'll see. I might have to try to pick one up. It looks really good. The Downdraft looks really good. And I haven't tried a single Tempest knife that I didn't like. So shout out to Tempest Knives and Casey from Knives Fast. What's up, Mikey Daly in the house? Good to see you, Mikey. Welcome in, man. Good to see you, Relentless Audits. Do you work for the IRS? How relentless are your audits? Whenever I hear audits, I immediately think the tax man. It's bad. It's a bad joke, but it's true. Stay relentless, man. Welcome in. Good to see you. Let's go. Sterling Stutes in the house. Let's go. Jojo, welcome in. Nick T, what's up, man? Thanks for being a channel member. Matt D, another channel member in the house. Good to see you, Matt. What's up? Greg McCutcheon, thanks for being a channel member. Good to see you, dude. Let's go. We're trying to fly through here. Ed B says, you know what opinions are like. Yeah, they're plentiful, and everyone has one. But it's also why we're here. I mean, we're here to discuss opinions, talk about mine, talk about yours, hopefully resolve it peacefully. I don't know, Ed. I love the fact that everyone has a different opinion. If we all agreed on everything, how boring would everything be? Imagine this. It's a knife community, and everyone agrees on everything. You would just be able to talk to one person and know immediately everything you would need to know. Like there would be no point. There'd be no point. It's how we discuss our opinions. Like I like it when people have strong opinions because oftentimes I feel like there's something that I could learn from this situation. And it's really interesting. Like when people have, I don't like blue cheese. Why? I don't know. I had it one time. It just wasn't that good. No, give me a strong opinion. A strong opinion. Like, even if it is so vastly different from my own, I respect strong opinions because they come from somewhere. So, just like Ed B hates the uninspired trademark Spyderco round holes, that's my favorite knife company right there. It's okay though. We can disagree and still be friends. Good to see you, Ed. Thanks for being a long-time channel member. Let's go. Cat Scratch, another channel member in the house. What's up, man? Louis in the house. Wow, my chat just jumped, so I just skipped like tons of messages. Ian Coates in the house. What's up, Ian? He says, I wanted the orange Martin, but I'm too late, and of course they're sold out. The Martin that I bought a Martin. The one that I got, I went for the one that I thought was gray. Big fan of plain Jane. And it has this slight blue tint on it. Doesn't matter. I still love it. They recently came out with one that I like even more. The one that I really like is the carbon fiber version. Hold on. Vosteed. Let me see. I'll back down the music just a little bit. I know some people are not a fan of that. Of course. Nope. Everything's broken. Everything's broken. Okay, hold on 1 second. I gotta fix my screen share. I had it working before the live, I promise. It's one of the things that I make sure is working before I go live. Anyways, there it is. It's on their front page. That one with the carbon fiber. Yes, no, go back. Go back. How do I, there it is. This one. I bet it's sold out. Nope. 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 Where's the carbon fiber version? Don't do this to me. There it is. And yeah, it's sold out. Is that yeah. No, they should have done, okay, so they should have done LMAX is what they should have done. And my fat head is blocking this knife. There it is. The Martin in carbon fiber looks awesome. Like that is the actualization of this knife. Wish it was LMAX. Did it matter? No, they all sold out anyways. But the Martin is such a good knife. People don't really understand how good it is. A lot of people said no purely because they wanted it to be bigger. You know, that's what she said. Anyways, 154 cm, still not a bad blade steel. I would have preferred with the carbon fiber handles that they had done LMAX because they did that on the mini psyop. And speaking of the mini psyop, I've got one right here, new updated version in the Norplex Ultrex micarta. I have another one of these that's in the carbon fiber just like that with the orange accents, and that one is LMAX as well. But you know what? So is this. You know, I was working on my car today. I was doing an oil change, and I had two knives on me. The two knives that I carried on me today, I have my beater Para 3 lightweight, you know, in the FRN handle skills, and yes, it is the FRN handle skills. Like that's the one that I hand sharpen just because like I use it enough where when I sharpen it, I don't want to put it on the fixed angle sharpener and then, you know, like spend an hour making sure the edge bevel is, no, I'm going to throw it on the stone. I'm going to whip up that edge. The edge is going to be nice and sharp and sticky. The edge bevel looks like crap, but it's a beater knife. It's got scratches over it. It gets tape gunked up. Like I clean it, but it still gets beat up. And then the other knife that I carried today was this guy. The Koenig Mini Goblin version 2. Content coming soon on this guy. But I was carrying it, and I was carrying both of those knives as I was, you know, changing the oil on my car. I was like, you know what? Like when it comes to like true beater knives, like they're not the backup carry. They are the primary carry. It's really interesting because right before I started my live stream, I was hanging out in the G-Ball Vision live stream chat as I was setting up my own live stream. And I mentioned my carry, and Greg from G-Ball Vision said the exact same thing. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. I was just thinking about this. It's your primary carry is whatever you use the most that's in your pocket. So if you carry a beater knife, and you also carry a nice knife, whichever one you use more is your primary carry. The other one is the backup. It doesn't matter what the size is. Whichever one you use more is your primary. That's it. That's it. Regardless, what got me on this thought train was I love the fact that on the mini psyop, oops, that was weak. On the mini psyop, there we go, that it's LMAX and micarta because you've got a really reliable handle scale material. Micarta is phenomenal because the wetter it gets, the grippier it gets. It patinas over time with wear, and it looks really good. You know, it takes on the stone wash of life really well. And LMAX is one of those blade steels where if you turn this into your primary, beater, LMAX is going to hold that edge really nicely. And you don't have to worry about putting snail trails on your titanium handle scales or whatever. It's just a good carry combination. But I do wish that Vosteed had done LMAX on the carbon fiber version and not 154 cm. But oh well, they're not available anyways, and at 109 bucks, nobody's going to complain but me. Anyways, what's up, Average Joe and Oz? Good to see you, man. And hey, shout out to Ian. Shout out to Ian. 9 months channel membership, says 3 short months until a year. You've been riding with the channel for longer than 9 months, Ian. It might say that you've only been a channel member for that long, but you've been with the channel for a lot longer. Louis says, Rollshambo, the Downdraft is sold out. I'm not surprised. When I was talking to Casey the other day, it was right before the release, and I told him, I said, this is probably going to be your biggest release yet. And if you don't know why, you know what? I'll just pull up the website. If I can spell, tempestknives.com. The Downdraft looks fantastic, by the way. All right, so it's not completely sold out. There is still one version left. This is the Hailstorm edition. What is that? Fully stonewashed? Look at that. That looks great. That looks great. You can tell that Casey's design preferences have evolved over time. They've changed, and he's really done a great job of listening to customer preferences. So we've got, what is this? Hold on. It's 154 cm at 60 to 62. And that's really good on 154 cm, considering that most manufacturers will just like lob it in and be like, 59. 60 to 62 for 154 cm is great. I feel the same way about 14C. And he can do that because he's using Kubi, and Kubi uses a vacuum cryo treat process. But look at that. Looks great. I'm not a huge fan of wire clips. Thankfully, companies like Rips Garage Tech and Lynch Northwest exist, and so you can replace those wire clips rather easily. They function well. They look hideous, but they do function well. I don't like the way wire clips feel in my hand. I feel like wire clips feel like, you know, they designed everything else really well about the knife, and then, you know, you got to the clip and you said, well, you know, it functions well. The Downdraft looks sick. It looks really good. I'm a big fan of fuller/deployment hole combinations. In this case, it's more of a slot, but it looks super fidgety. Looks very comfortable in the hand. The one that I was really interested in, I'm sure it's sold out. Yeah, oh yeah. This one with the camo carbon fiber. Of course it's sold out. 150 bucks camo carbon fiber. Are you kidding me? I knew it. So looks like the only one left now is the Hailstorm edition. He had the regular silver streak. That's the regular basket weave carbon fiber. That's sold out. He had the Disco Storm 80s camo with the black wash blade. That's sold out. I am fascinated that the one that it has not sold out yet. There's still 13 left on here, guys. 13 left. And then knowing Tempest, they're probably going to be all gone, and like they probably won't come back afterwards. But that is a super fair price. Titanium, or excuse me, that's not titanium. That is blasted aluminum. Okay. Blasted aluminum, 154 cm, 139 bucks. I'll be honest, I thought that was titanium. He had me fooled. The ones that I was looking at before were these with the camo carbon. That's really cool. Congrats and shout out to Tempest Knives on a very, very successful release. Paul Mills, what's up, Paul? Thanks for being a channel member. Jim says they're mostly sold out. Yeah. There's one SKU left. You can get the blasted. It looked like titanium. It's aluminum. He fooled me. It worked. Jay Korskin, thanks for being a channel member. Welcome in. Hold on. Ian says, I don't think DVO can top the Tall Boy. It's my favorite DVO to date. It's my favorite DVO to date. And it kind of reminds me of the Craig Brown Cortex XL. The blade shape is similar. It's the same style, right? I'm not going to say that they're the same because they're not. But it's the same style of blade. A very similar, not the same, inset liner lock. The Craig Brown Cortex XL inset liner is actually insane because it's this little liner that fits in the notch of the blade perfectly. But the DVO Knives Tall Boys inset liner lock is fantastic. I love it. The action is good. Great steel S90V at 61 to 62 Rockwell. Fantastic. The camo carbon, which DVO Knives actually formulated with the camo carbon company. Like the purple version that I have is they call it Purple Flow. Kevin Johnson, lefty EDC, 50% of DVO Knives. He actually went to camo carbon and said, we like your purple camo carbon fiber, but what if we were to take out the little hints of blue and just make it pure purple? And so they removed a specific material and they did it specifically for DVO Knives. And, the Purple Flow camo carbon was born and it looks fantastic. If you really want to get it going on that one, try getting some handle scale wax. I think it's called Wicked Wax. Do it. It'll make the handle scales look fantastic. Trust me. I don't have any yet. I'm planning on getting some. I think beeswax would probably also do the trick. Ian says, I had to get a Tall Boy. My soul would not have rested if I missed out. Well, I'm glad you finally got one, man. I'm glad that they did enough releases where people that wanted one could get one. I felt bad when they sold out so quick the first time around because so many people wanted them and just didn't have the opportunity. Laid Off Pete, what's up, man? Good to see you. Thanks for being a channel member. He says the Mini Growler and the Tall Boy, in my opinion, are their two best thus far. The Mini Growler is solid. It's really good. Really, really good. As far as small knives are concerned, it's very, very nice. All right. Hey, Tori Casey says, my most used knife is the Sage 5 and Rex 121 cutting machine. It's been hard. It's been hard to keep mine out of my pocket. I'm moving soon, right? So I'm moving. I'm very busy lately. Like we're starting to pack stuff up. That's why I did the oil change on my car because we're moving 1,000 miles away. So when you do that, you got to, change the oil in your vehicle, make sure fluids are topped up because it's going to be a long journey. And I was considering today, most of my knives, especially the ones that I'm not selling, because I'm going to be doing a knife sale here very soon. Maybe by Wednesday. Stay tuned. The ones that I'm not selling are going to be getting packed up. And I'm thinking I'm only going to realistically be keeping out 1 or 2 knives during the next couple of weeks. Which knife do I pick? And it's like the scenarios I always end up in where people are like, if you could only have one. In this case, it's, if you could only have one for 2 weeks. And I keep going back to it. The Sage 5 and Rex 121 with... Okay, you know what? This guy. Specifically this guy. Because I can't stand it leaving Spydercos in regular G10 scales. I can't. I know lots of people love them in that format. That's totally fine. I absolutely love having it in these Rips Garage Tech Pyrogrip titanium scales. You know, I don't have a deal with Rips Garage Tech, but I stand by their hardware. Their hardware is fantastic. The scales, really good. The clip, fantastic. And you know what? In this variation with these modifications, got rid of the wire clip, gone, out of here. Got rid of the G10 scales, gone, out of here. This feels like home. This feels like this is how it was always meant to be. And especially considering that they made this in the Taiwan factory. And a lot of Spyderco's titanium handled scaled knives come from the Taiwan factory. They should have done it in titanium. Would it have cost $500? Yes. Spyderco stovepipe, which, by the way, I still want one of those pretty badly. I wonder, can you even find a Spyderco stovepipe anymore? Can you? All right, come on, Google Spyderco stovepipe. I was banking. This is one of those. I had an estimation last year, and I'll admit it, I was wrong. I estimated that the Spyderco stovepipe was going to get discontinued and the prices were going to drop to somewhere around the realm of whatever we pay for the, you know, the Spidey Chef. Spyderco stovepipe, do they have them in stock at Blade HQ? Let's see. They do, and they are $480. This is also a Taichung Taiwan Spyderco knife. I have reviewed it. I got a loaner from Blade Ops a while back, and I loved it. It's not everyone's cup of tea. Totally understand. I love it. Beautifully contoured titanium handle scales. I believe that is a hollow ground blade, if I'm remembering correctly. The grind makes me think that it's hollow grind. It's super good. Super good knife. Great action. It's a small bruiser. I like small bruisers. I mean, obviously. But my point is that if that costs $480, chances are a titanium Sage 5 with titanium pocket clip probably also would have ended up being around the same price. But anyway, so I'm going through my knives and I'm trying to say, you know what knives do I want to hold out? Because, you know, like there's going to be like maybe somewhere in the realm of 1 to 3. Everything else that's not going up for sale is going to get packed away. And then I'm going to be like stuck with those knives for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Normally, I'm used to switching out knives daily. Like I'll pick up one knife and maybe I'll carry it 2 days in a row and then I'll switch to something else. That's what I'm used to. So far, strong contender is my Spyderco Sage 5 in Rex 121. I know everyone's on the Sage 6 train. I get it. Button compression locks are cool, especially when they are made by Spyderco. But S30V at $210 is not something I'm a huge fan of. I'm still waiting for the S90V version. Anyways, good to see you, Tori. Welcome in, man. I know that was a tangent and a half. Mike and Ike's EDC, thanks for being a channel member for 8 months.
This is Sparta!
Guys, Spartan kick the like button for long-time channel members who support the channel. You guys keep it going, and I definitely appreciate it. He says, what's your go-to knife sharpener setup? It depends. It really, really depends. If I'm just sharpening my beater, you know, Para 3 lightweight with the FRN handle scales, I'll do a hand sharpening because I can do that really quickly. I don't do it beautifully. Like I'll say this, one side of the edge bevel looks great. Looks great. You can tell which side is like the dominant side. The other side, super sloppy. Like C average student does not do their homework. It's sloppy on the other side, but I can still get an apex and it's still very sharp. So when I sharpen by hand, I use this guy. I don't know if you guys watch Outdoors 55. I didn't know that he had done a video on this, but this is what I use. It's a dual grit. So one side is like 600 grit. The other one's like 1,000. And this little kit right here, got it on Amazon. It's a Sharpal and Sharpal, I don't know. Anyways, super good. Really, really good dual grit stone, diamond stone. And they're like $25, $30, something like that. Outdoors 55 is a massive knife sharpening knowledge channel, and a huge shout out to him. He's one of the channels that I really enjoy watching. He did a video on it, and I saw it pop up. I'm like, oh crap, I'm about to find out that my knife sharpener is not that good. Because he's brutal. His opinions are brutally honest, and that's why everyone loves it. And apparently he ended up saying some really good things about it. And I felt relieved. I was like, you know what? That's nice, because I had a feeling, I was like, you know, if he says bad things about it, chances are the very next day the sharpener is just gonna like all of a sudden lose all of its grit. But no, this has been going strong. Like, this was on my Christmas list for 2024, and you know, super good sharpener. I want to say it's under 50 bucks, but apparently really good diamond distribution. It holds the grit really well, and you know, you can switch from the 600 grit to the 1000 grit super easily. Super easily. So that's what I use when I do a hand sharpener. My other setup, which I can't really show you because it's in the process of being packed away, is a modified Worksharp Precision Adjust. Not the Pro Precision Adjust, the regular Precision Adjust, but I've added pieces onto it from the Gritomatic website. So for example, if you go to the Gritomatic website, I think it's just gritomatic.com. I think these are the same guys who make the gunny juice. So you can go here and you can do upgrades for Worksharp, right? Hold on. Where is it? Worksharp. Here it is. And so this is really cool. Like, you can spend a ton of money on the Worksharp Precision Adjust Pro, and that looks like a fantastic machine. Or you can come in here and you can buy parts that really make it your own, to your own specifications. And you're going to be spending money either way. You'll probably save a little money doing it this way, but you can get custom stone holders for your Worksharp Precision Adjust. Keep in mind, the regular Precision Adjust is like 50 bucks, right? You can get stone holders. Like for mine, I've got this guy right here. There's 2 left in stock. It'll hold a 4-inch stone. And that means that you're not stuck using Worksharp's crappy stones that they sell for their Worksharp Precision Adjust system. And I say crappy because they lose their grit really quickly, and I don't know why, especially at the lower grit stones. They just stop working as well after you do like 10 to 12 sharpenings with each stone, and they're done. All of a sudden a 300 grit stone becomes a 600 grit stone. And if you need to reprofile an edge bevel, no. So anyways, if you get the 4-inch stone holder, you can actually also buy 4-inch stone sets, which, you know what, I'm going to clear the message real quick so you guys can see. You can get 4-inch stone sets for your stone holders, and boom, here you go. You can get dual sides, you can get super abrasives, you can get diamond stones, you can get the polycarb stones, you can get Veneve diamond stones. Look at this, 42 bucks for some Veneve industrial dog series. Like, you can go high end on here. I could spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on this website easily all the time. For me, I did the 4-inch stone sets. Hold on. And I just got, which one was it? Which one? Where is it? It's not the strop set. Maybe they don't have them anymore. Interesting. Oh, no, here it is. The silicon carbide stone set. So these actually work really good. These are soaking stones, so you have to soak them. But look at that. 56 bucks, you get a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different grits. So like, for the same price, this, you could replace 2 of these, the tiny little, you know, regular stock Worksharp stones. You get 5 on here. And these guys have been lasting me for a while. I haven't had to replace the first set I bought. You do have to soak them. They do work better with harder steels. I do not suggest doing kitchen knives with these steels, or excuse me, with these stones, because the kitchen knives are usually made with a cheaper steel with the cheaper heat treat. They're softer, so they'll clog up the grit really easily. But if you're doing like 154 cm, or you're doing, you know, even 14, like Kubi's 14C works fine. M390, I've sharpened M390 with these stones. I will stand by that. Have I done a video on them? No. I'm not really the knife sharpening video guy. I'm just, you know, the average EDC enthusiast who can sometimes put a pretty decent edge on their knife. But that is what I use. I use these stones and the 4-inch stone holder, and then of course, hold on. There's more. If you have the regular Worksharp Precision Adjust and you want to make it better, there is flex on the regular Precision Adjust system. You can help with that by getting a V clamp block support, and it keeps that arm, that clamp arm, from shifting down when you're going over your edge bevel. So that's great. You can also get different blade holders. Like, you can really make a regular Worksharp Precision Adjust just as good as just about any other knife sharpening system out there. And like, that's all I need. That's all I need. That's why I haven't bought one of the more expensive ones. So now, you know, since you asked, Mike and Ike's EDC, thank you for being a channel member for the last 8 months. And I hope that answers your question. Ian says if they made an num num a nom nom nom, if they made a nom 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 in purple camo carbon, I'd be happy. Oh man, that would be nice. But they'd have to do just the show side scale, and a lot of people would be upset about that. Let's be honest, like, people would be upset if they just did one side in carbon fiber and the other side in titanium. You know, I don't know. Can you improve on something that's already perfect? The Numzon is perfect. Bluetooth Blade says, I wish there were more options for the Sage 5 with G10 scales. Yeah, I mean, Rip's Garage Tech is where I got mine. And a lot of people don't understand that this is actually an option, because Rip's Garage Tech lists these as featherweight scales. And so people read that and they're like, oh, it's another scale option for the lightweight. But no, those are actually for the G10 model. So Sage 5. And they've got a couple different options. So check this out. You can go with aluminum. So you don't even have to necessarily go with titanium unless you want to. But Rip's Garage Tech has some pretty good options here. So they've got the angle parallel. They've got the deep angle parallel. They've got the diamond, which is kind of like a smaller pattern. Same pattern as this, but the diamonds are smaller. And then they've got the fingerprint, which looks crazy. Whoever thought of this pattern needs a raise. That looks great. Looks crazy, looks great. They got the regular fluted, which I almost picked those. But I didn't, because the Pyra grip is just too, it's just too damn good. Oh man, love the Pyra grip on here. And then they've got the ripple. Like, and all of these will fit the G10 Sage 5. All of these. It's, excuse me. Stay hydrated, guys. It's too damn bad that they did not come out with a contoured handle scale set for the Sage 5. They did for the Para 3, and I was blown away when I saw that they had those. Same thing, you can get the clips here. Like, this is a Rip's Garage Tech clip as well. You guys know how I feel. Anything from Timascus wire clip replacements to regular titanium, regular stonewash, milled patterns. Rip's Garage Tech has really, really impressed me over the last couple of years. I'm becoming a pretty big fan, and I'll tell you why. So everyone knows that I'm a big fan of the RG Custom Metalworks contoured titanium scales for the Para 3. They're expensive. They're so expensive. They look incredibly nice, and they definitely transform that knife into something, you know, next level. A lot of that has to do with the fact that RG Custom Metalworks scales are contoured. Now, normally you look at that and you say that's the price you pay if you want contoured handle scales that are titanium and made in the United States. But check this out. Para 3 contoured. Rip's Garage Tech makes contoured titanium scales for the Para 3, and they cost $180. These aren't $300 scales. They're not $400 scales. They also don't have the pocket clip already, but check this out. So you can get this, they call that the sine wave. These are contoured. The one that I really like is the diamond, obviously. I might have to make this happen. $180. And that's not a little amount of money, but it is when you're talking American made contoured titanium milled scales for the pair of 3. So yes, I'm definitely becoming a fan of Rip's Garage Tech. Huge fan of these Pyrogrip scales that are on the Sage 5. Love it. But the Sage 5 scales over at Rip's Garage Tech, to answer your question, you know, if it was too long and you didn't read, that's going to be the best option. Easily, hands down. It might be one of the only options. Anyways. Ian says, not stovepipe, but Knifeboy has a Sleesh drop this week, I believe. Yeah, I thought it was on the 18th. And here's the thing, it's going to be the very last drop they ever do for the Spyderco Swish buoy. That's it. That's going to be the last one. And I guarantee you when that happens, the value of those knives are going to skyrocket even further. And the value of the Knifejoy Swish buoy is going to be the same as the original was. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. But let's go on over to Knifejoy. I haven't switched the screen yet. I want to see if they actually have it listed, or if that was only on their Instagram. That might only have been an announcement on their Instagram, but I believe it's the 18th. Hold on. So the Swish buoy, it's going to be the last run that they do. They've got one more drop going on. It was on their Instagram. Let's see. Yep, I'm glad I checked. Final batch is May 16th at 10 a.m. Central Time. So 10 a.m. Central Time is going to be the very last opportunity to buy one brand new. After that, everyone's going to be subject to the scalpers, because I guarantee the scalpers are going to see this and they're just going to start drooling like the dogs they are. They're just going to start drooling and all they're going to see is dollar signs. So don't wait for secondary market, guys. I'm telling you right now, if you wanted one of these and you've been procrastinating and you don't want to pay scalper prices on the secondary, May 16th, 10 a.m. Central Time, which is 11 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Mountain, 8 a.m. Pacific. I love mine. I absolutely love mine. You know, in all comparisons about that knife against any other knife out the window, it's a great Spyderco. One of my favorites, in fact. My only regret is that Spyderco did not and should have done a American-made version with the compression lock. The fact that they didn't is one of the biggest crimes they've ever committed. May 16th, last chance. Last chance, or buy one on the secondary at a very inflated price. Also, from a collector standpoint, when I see a knife like this, my mind justifies it, because in my mind I say, well, if it's really that good, then I won't regret it once I get it. And if I don't like it, then I'll be able to at least sell it and get my money back, because there will be a demand for it on the secondary. So there's really little risk involved. Last chance. Final batch. You heard it here. Thanks for the reminder, Ian. Definitely appreciate it. Cat Scratch. Hold on. The chat jumped. I am so far behind. Hey, shout out to TC Blades for the $5 super. He says, I have to say my Zon has a home in my pocket, but I got a swanky Manix 2 that jockeys first base every day. That Manix 2 is sick. I think about that knife. Just so you know, TC, at least once a week I think about that Manix 2 you bought off me. I'm going to get another one, and I'm going to trick the next one out too. But the next one I get has to be, it's got to be 15V. It's got to be. I allowed myself to sell that one because in my head I said I will get another one in a different blade steel that I like better than S30V. But the one that I sold you had a fantastic mirror polished edge on it. And I think about that knife more than I'd like to admit. Ryan Johnson says Hawk Talon is my daily user all week, no swaps. I mean, if that's what you got, man, I can't I can't fault you. The Hawk Talon looks fantastic. Ian says Roll should sell me his Om Nom Nom because it's Magnica. No. The Zon is untouchable. I have a drawer full of untouchable knives. In that drawer, the Noom Zon has a home. It's got a mailing address in my untouchables drawer. You know what else is in my untouchables drawer? This guy. That went in there immediately. Another knife that went in there. The Craig Brown Cortex XL. That's also in the untouchables drawer. The Machine Wise Mojave. Also in the untouchables drawer. And the Noom Zon, of course, in the untouchables drawer. This knife still gets plenty of carry time every week. Talk about a perfect knife. Like, love this knife. Plus, don't you think that yours in S45VN is technically more valuable since they don't do it in S45VN anymore? Also, if you really want to update the blade steel, reach out to Chris Reeve because Chris Reeve will update the blade steel for you. I think they'll charge you $100 and you'll have to wait. I want to say they estimated for me was 4 weeks. Yeah, 4 weeks. I want to say it was like 4 to 6 weeks was their estimate. You send it in, you tell them, hey, I want you to just do a blade steel update, and they'll update the blade steel. They will in fact replace the blade with a brand new one. And they quoted me $100 on a small Sebenza 21. So if they do it for me, I guarantee you they do it for you on an Noom Zon. Reach out to them. Great people over there at Chris Reeve Knives. Very, very responsive too. So if you want it yours in MagnaCut, there you go. Personally, if I was you, Ian, I would keep that S45VN version and I would hold on to it like my life depended on it, because that one is going to be like, that's the collector special right there. There's a ton of people out there that will value it higher than the current MagnaCut variants purely because it's a discontinued variant that you can't get anymore. Just my 2 cents. Welcome into Donnie. Donnie says, I put a set of applied weapons tech scales on my Sage 5. Really made a feel difference in that knife. Already felt good, but now it's really good. I'm not surprised, dude. Like, Spyderco does this thing where they create the perfect platform for knife modification. A lot of people say that's the Demco AD platform. That's the perfect platform for knife modification, but no. It is the Spyderco compression lock platform, which makes the best platform for knife modding. It always feels better to me once you replace the scales, whether they're aluminum replacements or titanium replacements or carbon fiber replacements. Replacing the scales on a Spyderco is almost mandatory for me. The one exception so far for me has been the brand new Spyderco smock with the different pivot, because it's already aluminum. It's the shadow smock. But also there's not really a whole lot of options out there that fit the new Spyderco smock. So I'm biding my time. I'm being very patient, and I don't really feel like I'm missing out on anything so far. We might get to that point. Joe says my new grail is the Grimsmo Fiel. Ooh. You know, for me, that one doesn't do it for me, but I know a lot of people absolutely love that knife. The people that have tried it say nothing but great things. I think for me, it's just the blade shape on the Fiel that I'm not the biggest fan of personally, but a lot of people love that new knife from them. Ian says his Untouchables drawer is the same drawer his vibrators are in. Get out of my house, Ian. Oh, man. Louis says, Paul, I got one for the show, one for the go. The swish buoy fits my hand the best out of all my knives. Yeah, man, I love the swish buoy. And for me, the swish buoy gives me Sebenza-esque, Chris Reeve-esque feels because of the crown spine, the simplistic blade shape that works really well, great cutting geometry, put together extremely solid. It's a simple and yet elegant design. And when I said that, people went nuts and they're like, no, you're wrong. Welcome to the public forum of EDC opinion. But the swish buoy, in my opinion, is in fact the Spyderco Sebenza. Ryan Johnson says, I want more makers to do Damasteel blade upgrades, to be honest. It sucks to have to find a separate duplicate version in Damascus. Damasteel is not very... it's not super common. And the problem is that normally when you run into Damasteel, it's always on like a $500 full dress version with lots of Damascus and zirconium. And so the problem is that the Damasteel that's out there is super expensive. It's always on the full dress knives. I would love to see Damasteel as a regular steel option on a plain Jane knife. You know, where maybe to get the Damasteel you pay like $50 more instead of like $400 more. Like, have you guys ever seen that where, you know, the company is doing their release and they're like, yes, but look at all these great models, and then we have this special edition one in Damasteel, and you're looking at the prices and you're like, okay, $250, $300, $700. Like, that's a jump. That's a commitment. Cat Scratch says, Rip Garage clip is great for the Zon. The clip that I love on my Zon is the Lynch Northwest milled clip. That's this one right here. Ah, come on, focus. Focus. It matches. It matches pretty decently. It's the sandblasted clip, and it matches the Zon, and it's deep carry. And it's also milled. It's also titanium. This is my favorite clip that I could find that fit the Zon. I love it. Doesn't affect the ergos in a negative way. It's a shorter clip, so it's not just hanging out everywhere. It feels like the knife could have been made from the factory with this clip. That's my favorite. Also not cheap. Hey, Night Rare, what's up, dude? Welcome in. Says dropping in to say hi to my people. Good to see you, man. Ugh, scratch. Gotta scratch my nose. Ugh. Itchy nose. I'm not too proud not to scratch my nose on the live stream. Welcome into the Night's Edge. What's up, Neil? Good to see you, man. He says, I want a swish buoy. Why do they have to release the final batch when I'm saving up for my custom knife at Blade Show? Probably because they had a certain amount of order commitments that they had committed to Spyderco with. And this is probably the last one. And they're like, you know what? This is it. This is it. It's the final batch. The last one. I'm telling you guys, find a way to get in on that last batch if you want one. Because I guarantee you the secondary market prices are going to be brutal. Good to see you, Ghost Keeper. He says, cool Damasteel on a wee hyphen on Blade Binge right now. Looks crazy. Really? We might have to check that out. Kevin Sancher, what's up, man? Good to see you. Welcome in. Lone Star Cowboy says, local area network LAN with the tactical stealth vibrators that... Oh, man, you're killing me. You guys and your tactical vibrators. I just want to make sure I didn't miss on anything. Hold on. I don't think so. My nose needs to stop being so itchy. All right. it's time. You guys know what I carried today. Carried my beater Para 3 lightweight. I carried this guy, the Koenig Mini Goblin. What did you carry? I asked you in the chat, and now we're going to ask the good people on the Only Spartans Discord. What is the Only Spartans Discord? It's where you can hang out and chat with the local members community that's a part of the channel members community. So it's called the Only Spartans Discord. How do you get in? You become a channel member. All levels of channel membership are welcome. Once you're in, you're in. So if you join as a recruit for 99 cents, and then the next month you're like, you know what? Life is tough. Eggs are expensive. You can stay. You can stay. Stay as long as you like. But you just have to be a channel member to get the invite link, which is in the community section of my channel. So what does that look like? It looks a little bit like this. People always ask, Rollshambo, how do I get in to do my pocket check? You know, where are you grabbing those pocket checks? It's on the Only Spartans Discord. So we're going to scroll up a little bit, and we're going to be starting off with Dazed. Check that out. That is a Spyderco Military 2 with a Gersh reblade. That is wild. That knife looks brutal in all the right ways. Gersh is one of those companies that does reblades that are very underrated. I need to get my hands on one. That looks fantastic. I love that. What kills me a little bit is knowing that with the brown handle skills, that original blade that he replaced was either the 15V or Crewwear, both of which are steels that I like and would have a hard time replacing. But I'm willing to bet that cuts pretty nicely. Let's go Vivelsky. He's got a nice little carry today. He's got the Wee Roxy 3, the ProTech Mordax, and zoom in. That one's a Kershaw. I'm not sure what the karambit is. I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure what the karambit is. You guys can let me know in the comment section. Great photos, though. Look at that. Very nice. I love the gritty feel to these photos. They don't look gritty, but they have that gritty, realistic feel. Fantastic work. Gas Station Knives. He's got the laser engraved Tucson TS223 by Jelly Jerry. Oh, yeah. That's wild. Looks like it's got a nice thin slicey edge geometry too. I can tell just by looking at that flipper tab that is super snappy. That's wild, man. I like it. Yeah, that looks great. Let's go Ed Durbin. He's got, I know this knife. I had this knife. I sold this knife. It's a Tough Knives design. Don't tell me. It's in here. It's in here. You guys are going to be screaming at me in the chat. It's the Odd 21. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's the Concept Odd 21. Odd 21 is a great knife. Which one is this? This big honking guy, because it makes the Odd 21 look really small, and that's not a super small knife. Which one is it? I don't know what this knife is right here, but it looks brutal. And then, of course, he's got the Tyrant. People love that one. I like the knives we see in the background. It's a little Conegarius action, a little tri-stash action. We got the Concept Fenrir, couple different versions of that knife. The Vero Fulcrum Pry Bar. Crazy town. Nice photo, Ed. Solid photo. The Ponds with the Vosti Thunderbird. Always a great carry on that Thunderbird. Wicked Dreams. He's got the Arcane Designs Abyss, and look at that. Look at that mod work. That looks really good with the polished handle scales and the colored accents. That looks great. Warrior Guild with a tiny knife. What? Hey, But if it's big enough to get the job done, right? Am I right? Am I right? Nick T's with the Sunday carry. He's got the CKF Davlis and the Jan Chevron. Nice Hank too. I like that Hank. That's the Davlis. That's the Chevron. They both look great. I'm still kicking myself for not getting in on the Chevron when they originally dropped. Greg McCutcheon, Mannix 2 lightweight, and the fish. Is the fish also pocket friendly? Don't walk into a room with secrets. People will look at you and they'll say, this just doesn't smell right. That's a solid carry though. In the Spy 27, that's the Mannix 2 lightweight. Awesome. Big Jim coming in hot with the Hinderer XM18 spear point. Is that the, that is the spear point, right? The Spanto? It's the Spanto is what it is, technically, since it's a spear point Tanto. There we go. Bluetooth blades with the SOCOM Bravo. Very nice. And the new Combat Troodon, too. Jim Miller's got the Tempest Pinion, the Microburst, and the Kubi Dust Devil. He's going all Tempest knives today, baby. Look at that. Nice carry. I've tried out both of these, the Microburst and the Pinion. Both are really good. I'm not the biggest fixed blade guy, but I've heard a lot of great things about the Kubi Dust Devil. One Sneaky B coming in with one of my favorite knives ever, the Machine Wise Mojave, and right next to it is going to be the Riot Exo. Very nice. I love the Machine Wise Mojave. I've been getting into more high-end knives this year, in the last year, than ever before. And I have yet to encounter anything that has an action that feels as good as the action on a Mojave. I just can't. I've tried, I've looked, I've handled a bunch of different knives, you know, like expensive Chinese made knives, expensive American made knives, knives made in Taiwan. Nothing feels as glassy smooth. Like the best way that I can describe the feeling of the action on a Machine Wise Mojave is that feeling of frictionless when you try to walk on black ice. It's like the bearings and the detent are not riding on steel, they're riding on black ice. That's the only way that I can describe the action on the Mojave, personally. Now, people can disagree. That's just been my experience so far to date. The machinist proof version that I have came with skiff bearings already installed. That was one of the things that they did for the machinist proof versions. I don't know if they carried that on to the regular production models, but at least on mine with the skiff bearings, it feels like frictionless action. So if you have a Mojave and yours doesn't feel frictionless like black ice, I want you to go to the skiff website, order you a set of the skiff bearings, because that would be the difference. I love it. I love it. Some people don't. A lot of people do. They've been selling out on those small drops. David V with the UTX 85 says haven't been able to put it down. That's a nice knife. Microtech makes an amazing OTF knife. I said what I said. I know that they have a lot of haters out there, but I'm going to say it again. Microtech makes an awesome OTF. Cat Scratch got the JK Design Outpost in MagnaCut. Nice. You don't see a lot of JK Designs in the pocket checks. Thanks for sharing, man. It's good to see that. Laid off Pete, he's got the Artisan Cutlery Satyr and the Tucson TS 576. Nice. Very nice. Solid carry, man. Let's go TC Blades with the Concept Daco, the Apollo, and the Bison. That's what it's supposed to be. That's the bison in the background. Concepts over here naming, knives after former presidents. No, that won't help your case with the tariffs. Gosh, stop asking. Oh, man. Drinkwater with the McNeese Dixon. I've been hearing some great things about that. And look at that. You could tell that he uses that Dixon. That Dixon is getting some use. Right next to the Spyderco McBee. Both are Jonathan McNee's designs. Fantastic. Love that. I'm not sold on the, I'll say this, my complete honest opinion, I don't have anything against that blade shape. I love the fact that they did contoured scales. I don't love the deployment hole shape. Now, that's okay because, you know, Spydercos are not traditionally beautiful either, but I love them to pieces because they function impeccably. So I think I could forgive McNee's for that awkward deployment hole shape if it functions really well. If it functions really well, then I can forgive them. I haven't tried one yet, but I'm going to need to change that. Matt D with the Mangana Steel Aurelia. Ooh, we got an Aurelia pocket check. There we go, baby. Shout out to my man, Sharif Mangana Steel. The Aurelia is an amazing knife. He did an incredible job on that, and Riot came through. A lot of people forget that, yes, OEMs have a certain amount of control, but when they're working with a designer like, you know, Mangana Steel, or like any of the other knife makers / designers out there that's what they do for a living, they build them to the specifications that are sent to them. And so the knife is only as good as the designs and the CAD work is that gets sent there. The pocket clip on the Aurelia is incredible. It's incredible. I'd put it up there, maybe even better than the pocket clip on my Brown Cortex XL, which is a phenomenal clip design as well. I would say it might be one of the best pocket clip designs I've ever seen. I would say it's probably tied, in my opinion, for best pocket clip with the Mojave. Kevin Smith, he's got the Quiet Carry Waypoint, right? That's the Waypoint? Yeah. Ace Palone, he's got the GM Riv, the Giant Mouse Riv and Magna Cut with the Lynch Northwest exclusive. Nice. I haven't been seeing a whole lot of Giant Mouse lately. Renee Ramon, he's got, that's the Civivi Ferrum Forge, right? The CRKT, I'm not sure which one. I'm not sure what that's. I know that is a design that they did with I forget his name. I know he passed away. What's the designer's name that did that with CRKT? That's gonna bother me. I know who designed that knife. The Vosteed Psyop version, and you can tell version 1 because it still has that lip right here on the back that they don't do on the newer versions anymore. And then, is that a Keennison Knives? Is that Keennison? Yeah, it's the Keennison Fido. Very nice. Cat Scratch with the Nooms on with the Rips Garage Tech clip. Okay, I see you there. Yeah, it's very simplistic, very minimalist too. It's not truly deep carry, but not every clip needs to be. It's a very clean aesthetic. I still prefer, like, I shopped clips for this knife. I still prefer the clip that I have on there for mine. Does it make it a fatter profile here at the end? Yes, but it also doesn't hang down nearly as low. You see where this clip ends right here? The clip ends well below all the other standard clips because it is deep carry. So what that means is that ergonomically speaking, I don't really run into the tip of this clip in the meat of my palm. It makes for fantastic ergos on the Lynch Northwest clip. But what's most important is that you like it. Who wouldn't like it? It's an Nooms on. Oh no! Come back, Discord. I hit the back button too much. Hold on. We're gonna go back to the live stream. Live stream pocket check. We've got to be getting close to the end here. I know I've been ignoring the chat going through these pocket checks, and people are like, is he ever gonna look at the chat again? Maybe, possibly, no. All right, Fred the Lug. Ooh, nice, Fred. Says playing with the GTC. Gustavo T. Cecchini. Highly underrated, amazing knife maker. And the cool JB Stout. Borrowed this one from a friend. Couldn't stop playing with it. Yeah. Gustavo T. Cicchini is the one that's responsible for the SLT. It's called the SLT flipper, right? It's a spring tension loaded flipper tab. You see it on the Wii Solid and some of the older ZT knives that now are impossible to get. And yeah, those look good. Those look really good. This is obviously going to be the JB Stout design. C. Kobe is the very last pocket check on this list. It's the Gonzo FH41. Good old Gonzo. Talk about a good gateway knife company. Well, there it is, guys. The pocket checks for our Saturday night live. Everyone who participated in the pocket check for the live stream, thank you for sharing. And if you missed mine, today I carried the Para 3 Lightweight and this guy, the Koenig Mini Goblin. So more to come on this Mini Goblin. Stay tuned. I've recorded my first episode on this guy. I just need to edit and do some photography and then it'll be up. So expect to see that soon. Thanks for sharing on the pocket check live stream, everybody. Oh, we got one more from Fred. Hold on. He says, small knife. That's not a knife. This is a knife. Is that the Crocodile Dundee Jim Bowie blade? Greg, what's up, man? Good to see you, dude. Ace Palon says, so many great EDC YouTube channel folks in here. If you want to learn algebra from a 9-year-old, visit mine. What? Oh, man. All right. Let me check in on the chat while I hydrate. Ryan Johnson says the Sonora is like that also. It's so glassy. Yeah, I mean, the best way I can describe the Mojave action is black ice. It's the detent ball and the bearings feel like it's black ice on ceramic. Like instead of steel, it's ceramic on black ice. Lone Star says, my banana is pocket friendly. Happy to see you. What? Matt says, all right, time for me to sharpen and clean up a few knives for friends and family. I'll be here in the background. Hey, lurk away, man. That's what we're here for. The Night's Edge says, of course you remember that one, Rollshambo. That's the Odd 21 I reviewed before I shipped it to Ed. And you watch all of my my reviews, right? Roll. Sometimes I don't watch all of my reviews. Clearly, if I did, I'd probably remember. You know, I get to the end of my day and I've got so much going on. Like sometimes I'll look at a knife that I've handled and I'll be like, what's that? What's that called again? Ed B says, hey, you snubbed Craig. Wait, did I miss a Craig, Vincent? There's no way. I never miss Craig's pocket checks. Hold on. I missed it. Craig Vincent, he's got the 8010. And look, the pockets are full of knives. Proof he carries all of those knives. Good call out, Ed. Craig, thanks for sharing, man. Definitely appreciate it. I missed it because I'm used to seeing the picture of all those knives in your hands. And I feel like I was catfished because right now there's only one. Because all the other knives are in your pockets. He's got the cargo pants locked down. Good call out, Ed. Mighty Milton says, Neil is a mod. Save us all. Hey, be nice to Neil. Neil's a great mod. Neil, thanks for being a channel mod, in case nobody told you. Jim says, that's a nice bluegill. Yeah, that is a beautiful fish. All right. Did I say hi to C. Kobe? He says natural scales on the fish. Yeah. Hold on. All right. The chat jumped. I'm just going to go to the bottom. Forgive me if I missed your message. Greg says, I have a little wiggle in the detent on the Kaiser Sparrow in my Carta. Not deal breaker, but I don't know how to fix it. If I can, detent hole might be oversized. A little wiggle on the detent on the Kaiser Sparrow. The Kaiser Sparrow, that's not a button lock, is it? Hold on. No, it's a frame lock. A little wiggle. So let's take a look here. So it looks like it doesn't have external body screws near the pivot. So the stop pin is either internal, or it's not something that gets screwed in. Sometimes the stop pins, if the stop pins are loose, it can cause a little bit of blade play. Not the case here. I mean, for me, I just make sure that the all the screws are tight. I mean, what else can you do? I mean, I suppose you could reach out to Kaiser and see if they would warranty it and send you a replacement. Might not be a bad idea. Bluetooth says, are the bluegill scales Mokutai? Welcome into RJ Atwell. Says, what finish on your Sage 5 titanium scales? So this is the Pyrogrip. You know what? I'll go full screen for this. These are the Pyrogrip, and they call this stonewash, but honestly, it looks kind of like a raw finish. But Rip's Garage Tech says that these are stonewashed. I don't really see any stone. I guess if you look closely, you can see the edges. This is the Stonewash Pyrogrip scales from Rip's Garage Tech. Yeah, this is what the Stonewash looks like, because it's all the 3D milling. So you don't really see the Stonewash like you would if it was a plain non-milled out handle scale. It came out really good. Really good. I like it. See Kobe, have a great rest of your night, man. Thanks for dropping by. Yep, Fred says the ZT0055. That is on my Grail hit list. I would be lucky if I ever found someone willing to sell that knife. Manganas Steel, Sharif Manganas, has one. And I told him, I said, I better be on your short list of people to sell this knife to if you ever decide that you would rather have money than this knife. And he said, never. Says, yeah, thanks. Looks awesome. Didn't look like stonewash on the video. It doesn't look like stonewash. This looks like a raw finish. It is stonewash. Fred says Sharif has like 5 of the ZT005. Does he really? He probably has different versions of the same knife, though. Maybe I should reach out to him and double down and be like, do you feel like only having 4? Food for thought. All right, guys. Well, we are going to kill the music because we are coming to the end of the live stream. Before we go, just a reminder, I'm going to be moving, and so there's going to be about a 2-week span where I will not basically have a recording studio. I'm planning on doing some low rent videos, journal style, from the road. I have no idea what those are going to look like. They're going to be completely unplanned. It'll be fun. It'll look like a different kind of video that I've ever made. However, that does mean that the last live stream of the month will be taking place on the 17th, which is a week from today. So the next live stream will be Wednesday on the 14th at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And then after that on that next Saturday. And that'll be it for the month because I will essentially be homeless. there's a gap between leaving my current studio and going to the next one. But just a heads up, guys, I will still find a way to post content. I have no idea what it'll look like. I'm going to wing it. I'm going to try to make it as authentic as possible. The audio quality is going to be from my phone, so it's probably going to look like shit. Audio quality looking bad. It's probably going to sound low rent, but I'm going to do my best to post stuff regardless. Next live stream, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is 10 p.m. Eastern, which is 9 p.m. Central, which is 7 p.m. Pacific. Thanks for riding with the channel, everybody. I hope you have an absolutely phenomenal rest of your weekend. For those of you in the Only Spartans Discord, I'll see you soon. And for everybody else, we'll see you later.